am alive and it's good to be alive. What's up everybody? Today I am doing a basics video on Warframe because lately I've been playing with a lot of people and I know a lot of people that are just getting into it, and it's a very complex game. There's a lot to understand. The game probably doesn't explain a lot of things good enough. I know it didn't when I started, but that was about 3 years ago, so I'm going to walk you through some of the basics today. So up here, this is kind of the cockpit of your ship, which is called the Lisette when you first start. This little console here, if you interact with, this is how you select missions. This will show you planets, so essentially you'll see all the planets here, but you won't be able to visit them right away. You'll only have a few planets, or maybe even only one planet unlocked, which you can click on. And these are called nodes, and these are different locations and missions on the planet that you can visit. When you first start the game though, you're probably going to have a quest, so to figure out how to go to that, you hit the RB button up top, and you'll notice all these tabs, which you can then use LB and RB to switch between. This tab represents your quests that you can select from. When you start the game, you'll probably only have one. This tab represents alerts, which are time-limited missions that if you complete, you get the select reward shown in the window. These are invasion missions. You don't need to worry about those right now. These will come in handy once you actually join a syndicate, but I don't think you can do that until you reach level 5. And these are Lith missions, which is a whole nother bag of worms. Don't worry about those. The only important ones are going to be the quest and the alert tab for you right away. So, if you come to the right here, this is called the market. This is going to be your bread and butter. This is where you're going to get all your new stuff. It's going to look like you can only buy things with platinum. Don't let that be discouraging. You can buy things with credits. You simply hit the Y button to switch between these tabs. Go to weapons, and then move your cursor to the sides, and you can do primary, secondary, or melee. So let's take a look at some of the melee weapons. And down in the bottom right, you'll see X for hide owned and RB for blueprints only. X will hide the ones you already have, and RB for blueprints only will show you the weapons that you can craft. These are the weapons that you don't buy with platinum, you can buy the blueprints for. So I'll show you if I look at the Orthos here. It has two options. A to purchase down in the bottom right, or RB for the blueprint for 20,000 credits. You're going to want to do RB for the blueprint, as you will likely have no premium currency upon starting the game. Once you purchase a blueprint, you're going to want to go to the downstairs of your Lisette, and if you look to the right, you'll see a segment called the Foundry. If you open up the inventory of the Foundry, you'll see all the things that you have blueprints for. These are all the things you can craft. And in the Foundry, if you look at a blueprint, it'll tell you what you need to make it. So if I look at this Ash chassis, it tells me I need 1 Morphix and 300 Rubido, as well as 1,000 Ferrite. Sorry, it's hard for me to read that because I have so much of each of those resources I couldn't see where the numbers stopped and started. If you have enough, down below it says 15,000 credits in 12 hours. That lets you know the initial credit cost of starting the build and how long it will take to finish. So just for the sake of this video, I don't need this item. I'm going to craft it anyways. So I've crafted it, and it says 11 hours 59 minutes to go. So in 12 hours real time, I can come back and claim that. Different items take different amounts of time to craft, but usually it's about 12 hours. So you can craft guns here, you can craft warframes, pretty much everything in between. Directly across the hall, so there's the segment I was just using. If you go to the opposite side of the ship, you have the mods. Your mods are basically upgrades. You can put upgrades on your warframes and your weapons, and they will gain the beneficial stat listed in the mod. For example, this is a blaze mod for shotguns. It increases the damage by 60% and adds 60% heat damage. Not a bad mod. And let me see if I can find a Warframe mod. Here we are, Primed Continuity, plus 59% power duration. So essentially what that's going to do is make my powers last longer. And this is the arsenal. This is the arsenal. Yours won't look quite like this. I've decorated mine quite a bit, but this is really easy. It's once you head down the ramp, it's in the very back, and you'll interact with it. And this will allow you to look at your warframe, your primary, secondary, and your melee weapon. From this screen, when you look at something, you'll see A to equip, Y to upgrade, X for appearance, and right trigger for abilities. The A button is pretty self-explanatory. To equip, it's to equip the other things in that category that you have, so all of your other warframes that you can equip. Only if you have them unlocked though. I do believe you can look at other warframes in there, but you will not actually be able to equip them unless you have them unlocked. Now, if you go to weapons, it's the same thing. You hit the A button, pretty self-explanatory. It lets you choose from all the weapons that you've unlocked. The Y button will allow you to upgrade your gear. So if I hit the Y button on my gun, it shows me all my mods that I have on it. And again, mods are essentially upgrades in this game. The way this works is, when you gain experience, you level up a weapon. When your weapon levels up, that's how much mod capacity it has. So for example, the max rank in this video game is 30. That is the highest level any of your gear can get to. So at level 30, your gear will have mod capacity of 30. So if you hit the Y button to go into your mods, in the top left, you'll see capacity. It says 5 out of 60. The reason mine says 60 is because there's an item that doubles your capacity, which is pretty nice. But I'm going to show you how this works by getting to a loadout on my gun that has no mods. Here we go. So this is what your gun's going to look like. It's not going to have any upgrades on it. Now, you'll notice some of these mod slots have a little symbol on them. That is because if you take a mod, and you'll notice in the top right corner of every mod it'll have a number. This one says 13. That's how much mod capacity it's going to consume. So in the top left it says 60 out of 60. That's how much space I have left on my weapon for my mods. So if I put this mod on here, you'll notice my capacity in the top left now says 47 out of 60. That's how much room I have left because it subtracted the number 13 that's on this mod. That is to prevent newer players from being able to put on extremely high-powered OP mods onto their characters. You want to actually work for it. But you'll notice that some of these slots have little symbols up in the top right corner, like a little V. If you have a mod with a matching symbol next to the number, you'll see a little V next to the 13. If I put this mod in that slot, it cuts the capacity in half. You'll notice the number turns green, representing that it's good, and it brings it down to 7. So this mod is now only using 7 capacity. So my capacity is now 53 out of 60, allowing me more room to put stronger and stronger mods on here. And that is essentially your basics of modding. So the goal with mods is to find mods that you like and put them on your weapon. Now I recommend it's better to have only a few mods on your weapon that are actually upgraded than have a whole bunch of mods that aren't upgraded. So I'm going to show you how to upgrade a mod. You come back over to your mods segment here, and it'll bring up your whole list of mods. If this is hard to manage, you can hit the Y button, and you'll notice this tiny little menu to the right pop up, and you'll have the option of selecting how to list your mods, by rating, how expensive they are, or simply by name. And if you hit RB and LB, you will be able to switch between tabs for types of mods. So at the top, actually not really top, sort of the middle bar there, you'll see a little infinity symbol and it says all. If I hit RB it says Warframe, and if I hit RB again, Aura, Augments, Primary, Secondary, Melee, etc. This will make it easier to find mods for the weapon you want. So let's say I want to upgrade a pistol mod. I'm going to hit LB and go to Secondary. You'll see I have selected. So let's pick a pretty simple mod. Here we are, Quick Draw. Increases reload speed by 8%. That's not very good, but it is nice to reload your weapons faster. So you're going to want to click A, and it'll ask you how many you want to select. If you're upgrading a mod, you can only select one, so just select one. Go to the top left where it says Fusion and hit A again, and it brings up your mod and prepares it to be upgraded. In the top left, it'll tell you my reload speed of the mod and its drain, which is 2. The drain is how much capacity it takes up when it's put on your weapon. If you hit RB, it levels up once, and you'll notice in the top left my reload speed, the number turns green, indicating the new reload speed. It goes from 8% to 16%. But the drain turns red and turns to 3. That is because the stronger the mod and the higher it's leveled, it takes up more capacity. That's what prevents you from having just an infinite number of crazy mods on your Warframes. So, at the top right, you'll notice it says Rank Fusion Cost. It's got a little goldish blue ball with a 10 next to it. That resource is called Endo. You will get Endo all the time in this game. You'll get it as a random drop for killing enemies, as a mission reward. You'll find that out soon enough yourself. So it costs 10 Endo and 483 credits. You literally get credits for doing anything, killing people, and every single mission you do will have some kind of credit reward at the end. So if I hit RB again, you'll notice the fusion cost to the right increases, but the effect of the mod to the left also increases, making it stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and hit RB as many times as I can to max out the mod, and you'll notice that my reload speed then goes to 48%. So your weapon's going to reload about half. It's going to reload a little bit faster, which is pretty nice. So what you can then do is hit the B button if you want to cancel, or you can hit the X button to apply fusion, where it'll redefine the cost and ask you if you're sure. You would then say yes, and it would give you the upgraded mod. You'll know the mod is upgraded because if you look at this mod here that I'm looking at, there are no blue dots under it. Whereas if you look at this mod, you'll see a little blue line at the very bottom of the mod. And it may be hard for you to see on your screen, but there are little blue dots within that line that represent how many times you leveled it up. If the line is all the way full, that means the mod is at its max rank and cannot be leveled up anymore. So what you'll then want to do is go back to your arsenal and look at your weapon, and it should prioritize all of your upgraded mods first. So a really easy way to find the mods that you've upgraded is that they will always appear in your list before the mods that you have not upgraded, even if it is the same mod. So if you have 2 quick draw mods, it's only going to show the one first that you upgraded. Now let's talk about damage and how you're going to be hurting the enemy and how mods actually affect your weapon. So I'm going to hit the Y button to upgrade my Galatine, which is my sword, and hit RB to go to a blank configuration. You won't have to worry about that. But with melee weapons, what I'd like to note is that you'll see a little mod slot at the top. You can't put just any mod up there. It'll tell you it's reserved for melee stance mods. So when you're down here in this list, it will show you the mod, but the easiest way to find them is to hit RB and it'll take you to your stance mods. Stance mods change the way your weapon attack, and they unlock new weapon combos for you to use in combat. If you put a stance mod up in the top slot, you'll notice that instead of decreasing your overall capacity, it actually increases it, which is very nice. So by putting a matching symbol stance mod in the top of my weapon, it actually increases my capacity by 10, allowing me more space to put things down here. You will only ever be allowed 8 mods on your weapons, warframes, etc. in the main categories. An easy way to remove mods that you no longer want is to look at them and hit the Y button. They will instantly be placed back down in your inventory. If you place a mod and then remove it, and there is not an open slot here, it will instantly get put to the very bottom of your list. Probably not a problem for you, very annoying for someone like me, so the easiest way to fix that is to hit the B button, and simply hit Y to go back into upgrades, and the upgraded mod that you removed should be somewhere back up here in the top with all your other upgraded mods. So, let's start with the standards of damage. If you look at my Galatine and you look at the bottom right, you'll notice that it does 156 slash damage, but only does 4 puncture and 4 impact damage. So, that's not a whole lot, but to explain it this way, slash is like cutting things, puncture is stabbing, and impact is blunt force. Slash is good against infested monsters, puncture is good against the Grenier, which are the big bubbly brown bulky guys with guns, and impact is good against the Corpus, the sort of blue jumpsuit guys with energy shields. So if you hit the Y button to upgrade your melee, you want to amplify your damage. So I have a primed pressure point here. You will most likely have a regular pressure point, but it increases your melee damage by 165%. I recommend always having a pressure point mod on your weapon, because it doesn't just increase one type of damage, it increases all types of damage. So you'll notice now, in the top left, my impact damage goes from 4 to 10, puncture goes from 4 to 10, and my slash goes from 158 to 415. The reason my slash damage increases so much is because mods are percentage based. So, it's always a good idea to put mods on your weapon that will amplify the stats that are already good. I wouldn't want to put a mod on this that increases my impact damage by a percentage, because my impact damage is only 4, that would be a perfectly good waste of a mod slot. So, next I want to show you elemental damage. There are mods, such as this one, Shocking Touch. It adds 90% electricity damage. So if I put that on my weapon, you'll notice that in the bottom left, my weapon now does 148 electricity damage, which is pretty cool. You'll also notice, let me get my big head out of the way here and look at the stats in the bottom right. So I deal 148 electricity damage, and you'll notice that the status chance on my weapon, where it says status, is 20%. That is the percentage chance you have when hitting someone to deal that element of damage. It does increase your base damage, make no mistake, but that's just your chance to deal a status effect. For example, since I have electricity on this weapon, there is now a 20% chance, because of my status chance, that the enemy will get electrocuted, which is very fun to watch. But what I wanted to show you, the reason I recommend always having a pressure point on your melee, or basically a mod that increases the overall damage of your weapon, is because it will also increase the damage of my electricity. So if I put that on there, you'll notice my electricity damage now jumps up to 393. So that is why base damage mods, is what I call them, mods that increase all the damage on your weapon, are very good because they can work in synergy with other upgrades that you put on your weapon. Once you have the upgrades you want on your weapon, you'll simply hit the B button, and don't worry, you don't have to save anything, they will just be on there. And if you look at your weapon, you may even notice little bits of electricity coming off of it, which is very nice. Just to get this out of the way, to help simplify things for you guys, the base damage mod for your primary weapons is called Serration, and the base damage mod for your secondaries is called Hornet Strike. And again, for melee, the base damage mod is called Pressure Point, which you'll see here. Those are the mods that will increase all the damage of any types of mods that you put on your weapon. Unless you do a mod like 120% slash damage. This increases my slash damage. A pressure point mod is not going to increase an increase mod, because this isn't actually adding a new element of attack or anything to my weapon. This usually only works with other forms of damage, so if you put a mod on your weapon that adds a new type of damage, then pressure point will help it. Alright everyone, I hope this video was helpful, and I hope there was something in it that you can use. If you're a newer player, I encourage you to leave a comment down below on anything else you'd like me to cover. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. I also have some other Warframe videos on this channel, and if you have any other things you'd like to say, please let me know, and I hope you guys have an awesome day as always. Peace!